Okay, young people, we're starting lesson 4 today, and we are still in Unit 3, A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest Gaines. So the chapter that we're going to be reading today is chapter 23. So chapters 23 and 24 will be the ones that we are working on today. We're reading or reviewing chapter 22. So our first activity will require us to look at Grant's approach towards Jefferson. So in chapters 23 and 24, we're going to notice that Grant has a change in his approach to Jefferson. All right? So, also we're going to look at theme with this chapter. So as we are reading and looking through the chapters 23 and chapter 24, I want us to read the questions first, and then we're going to read the chapter. So I'm going to demonstrate a model for you what the expectation is, and I'm going to do a think aloud to help you to jog your memory so that you can answer the question using the race strategy effectively. All right? Stepping in. How has Grant's approach toward Jefferson changed? So I'm thinking out loud. I have to know that Jefferson's approach in the beginning was a certain way. So I'm thinking back into chapter 2. As I think about Grant, I noticed that he did not want to visit Jefferson to teach him anything. He felt like it would be useless because Jefferson was dying. And he said, quote, "I am not God. I can't raise the dead," unquote. So that's letting me know that he had some reservations. He had some thoughts that he did not want to visit Jefferson. He thought it would be useless, okay? So that is one thing that I'm thinking about. So the next thing I'm thinking about is when he actually went to the jailhouse to visit Jefferson. Or even before that, when he went to ask Sheriff Guidry if he can go visit Jefferson. His whole attitude or mentality was, Sheriff Guidry, he said, what do you expect to gain from visiting Jefferson in jail? He said he didn't know. So with that attitude, I figured he didn't want to go. This is what he had, an attitude of not wanting to go to help Jefferson. So, stepping out, let me ask you a question. If I had to come here to teach you and I did not want to, but I was forced to come and teach you, do you think you would feel my feeling? Do you think you would feel my reservation if I came in here? Do you think you could, even though I'm teaching you and even though I'm being polite, do you think you would feel something, some energy, some type of energy coming from me? Of course you would, okay? So now, stepping back in, I'm thinking about Grant and Jefferson in that cell. And how did Grant approach Jefferson? He was kind, he was polite, but then you can see a little aggravation because Jefferson would not respond to Grant. So that made him even more hesitant. So now that we're in chapter 23, how is Grant's approach to Jefferson? Is it different? Has it changed? So as we read, we're going to be looking for a change in Jefferson and Grant's approach. All right? Now, how does this approach relate to the theme? So we know now, in the beginning, we had a theme of what? Isolation. Jefferson did not want to be around anybody. He did not want to have contact or conversation with anybody. He just wanted to be by himself where he could think the way that he wanted to think. He thought that he was what? Not what? A man, right? So he wanted to be left alone so that he can waddle in his own self-pity. Okay? Thank you so much, Ms. Elsie. All right, so now that I have those 2 questions under my belt, now when I read, I am going to be looking for those specific questions. I'm going to be looking for a theme. I'm going to be looking for how Grant's approach has changed. All right? Also, in activity 3, it says, what lesson is Grant trying to teach Jefferson through the radio and the pecans? So, stepping back in, I am thinking naturally of a radio. And what does a radio do? It plays music. So, in my thoughts, I'm thinking music can make you happy. Music can make you sad. Okay, now I'm thinking about what is Grant's purpose for giving Jefferson a radio? If he's in jail, naturally I'm going to think, okay, he needs to be cheered up because he's in jail. So the radio is to make him happy, and that's without me even reading. I haven't even read yet. I'm just thinking about what a radio represents. Now, a pecan is a nut, and pecans only grow seasonal, right? So if I were to compare a pecan to any other nut, I would know that a pecan is unique. It's different, all right? Compare a pecan to a peanut. If you go to the store to buy a peanut and a pecan, which one would be more expensive? A pecan, because it's seasonal. So back in those days, pecans were like, a commodity. It was like treasured. It wasn't just, you just didn't go eat pecans or, just all willy-nilly because they were special. So evidently there's some significance in that question with the radio and the pecan. All right? How is Grant learning a similar lesson? How is he learning a similar lesson here? What lesson is he learning? By giving Jefferson these things. Okay? So I go here. This is just a review. You're going to review chapters 23 and chapters 22 and chapter 23 after you have read for character interaction. So you're kind of looking at character traits here as well. These are just some think questions. You're not going to answer these questions. You're just going to read over them. This will help you with your mentor sentence, all right? Here, you're going to click these links. These links are actually the actual reading of the story and summaries. So this is just some extra help for you, okay? These are the links that you will click. You will click this link here and this link here for the reading, and here are the summaries. This is your mentor sentence. These are the questions that you're going to answer for your mentor sentence. Remember, when you copy and paste your mentor sentence, you are not only telling me the meaning of the mentor sentence, but you're telling me what you noticed. Okay, so I'm stepping out and I'm going to ask you a question. What's the first thing you notice about the mentor sentence? Just looking at it, what are the first thing you notice about the mentor sentence? It's in quotes. So what do quotes mean?
It's straight out of the passage.
Okay, it's either straight out of the passage or someone that's actually what? Saying it, okay? So if I do number 2 and say, what do I notice? I'm going to put, I notice that there are quotations, all right? And I know what quotations signify. All right, what else do I notice? That there are what? Commas. And what do commas do? Okay, they show a break in the sentence. That's absolutely right. They show a break in the sentence. And when you see a break in the sentence, that gives you a minute to what? Pause and think about what you've just read. Okay? So you notice the punctuations. What is this right here? Okay, that's the page number. So that's cite. That's the cite. Now, if they had the author's name here and the page number or the date, what would that be? Parenthetical citation. Remember? So everybody say parenthetical citations. Okay, so if it was the author's name and the page number or the author's name and the date. That will be a parenthetical citation in parentheses, showing you who wrote it, when, and where it's located. All right? But this is just a cite. So you will put that, I noticed that there is a cited page. Okay? That is it. That's it. You're not going to tell me what you noticed about what it's saying. You're going to tell me the meaning here. What is the meaning of this sentence? I cry not from reaching any conclusion by reasoning. What is reasoning? Reasoning is our understanding. All right? Human beings have the ability to reason. Remember we talked about that when the first day of this unit? What makes us human? And I told you the ability to reason. What makes us human is we have the ability to reason. So having the ability to understand, I cry not from reaching any conclusion by understanding, but because lowly as I am still a part of a whole. I'm not going to tell you what it means. I want you to think about it. I want you to break that sentence down. All right? Here, this will help you to break the sentence down. All right? What does lowly as I am mean? Okay? What whole is he a part of? These are the questions that you're going to ask yourself in order to effectively answer these questions for your mentor sentence. Does everybody understand? All right. So now, here is some more help for you. Common theme, vocabulary, literary devices. You're going to read each one of these. This is going to help you with your vocabulary as you read chapters 23 and chapter 24. These are some literary devices that you need to recognize how the author is using these literary devices in this chapter. Here you're going to tell me what the theme is. How was the theme developed here? Use the race strategy. Use the race strategy. Here is where your mentor sentence is going to be pasted, and this is where you're going to answer your questions. This is where you're going to do, this is your last activity, and you're going to answer these questions using the race strategy. What lesson does Grant try to teach Jefferson about being a man or being human? Okay, we learned that from chapters 2, 3, and 4. Okay, how is this lesson used to develop the theme within the text? And what is used in this chapter to develop the theme? Meaning, what is used? What words are used? How is the author structuring those sentences to help us to develop the theme? The meaning. What is the meaning behind this particular text? What message am I receiving? All right, and then that's it. This is another review. You're going to review chapters 24, supporting evidence in humanity, and the understanding tools. So you can click there to get other or extra support or extra help. Are there any questions with your activities for today? Okay, remember, we use the race strategy, and you are working on section 3, lesson 4. That's it.